Okay. So this is the structure of MJM 27, that is electronic media. It's a 4 credit course. And the objective of this course is to describe different types of audio production, such as program formats, recording, editing, dissemination of audio programs through various platforms, to explain the composition rules and other important tools and techniques of digital photography, develop writing skills for audiovisual program, especially different types of documentaries, describe the important elements of audiovisual production such as camera operations, lighting, production design, and editing. So basically, this course, electronic media, uh, consists of three main major component. First is audio, that is the audio program production. Second is digital photography, and third is AV production, audiovisual production. So the audio production may be for, here you can see the block one is audio production, and the different units under it is production process. This unit will deal with what is the production process of audio programs. And audio programs can be, for radio broadcasting as well as the internet based podcasting also. So it will cover, both the things. It's not only for the traditional radio broadcasting. It includes the podcasts also, because basically the content and formats are same. It's just a matter of platform where we are using the traditional broadcasting method, and in the case of internet platforms, we are using internets. So production process will deal about the various stages of audio program production. What type of stages are involved in producing an audio program. That audio program can be for the traditional radio broadcasting or the internet platforms also. Then the second unit will talk about the radio formats. Radio formats deals with the different type of audio program formats. We all know that formats are, you can say, the different types of programs based on the presentation style and the various elements. So unit 2 will deal with the different type of audio program formats. Then unit 3 will deal with the recording of the program. So when you will go through the study material, you will find all these units. So in the recording unit, you will see the different the structure of a microphone, the different types of microphone, then what type of precautions we should take while recording the audio programs, then the structure of audio studio, then the other requirements for a professional audio recording. We have discussed all these aspects in the unit 3. Then unit 4 talks about sound editing and mixing. So sound editing and mixing after the recording, the second stage is post production. So we need to produce, we need to edit, we need to mix. Mixing means we are using different audio sources and mixing them for creating the final audio program. So maybe you have recorded something, you can mix some background music also, you can mix some audio effects also, you can mix some other recordings also. So that is mixing. We are mixing the audio content gathered from the different sources. So that is sound editing and mixing. And in the live scenario also, we are using audio console or audio mixer, sound mixer, where we can get audio from multiple sources. You can fix in a studio like 3 mics for 3 different people. Okay, then the 2 more mics for different instruments also, then some recorded music also, that is also one audio source. And the audio mixer or sound mixer mix all these things to create the final output. So unit 4 will deal with sound editing and mixing, in which we will talk about the different types of the requirement of audio editing, the different softwares available for the audio editing. We all know that many open source softwares also available for audio editing. Then the role of audio mixer for mixing process, and the softwares for the mixing process. Then the unit 5, that is audio programs through different platforms. Okay. So whenever you have any question, you can raise your question by raising your hand also, or you can type it into the text, text message also. So we can take those questions also. So the fifth unit or chapter is audio programs through different platforms. We all know that earlier radio broadcasting was the only platform available for the dissemination of audio programs. But now internet is also there, or offline platforms are also there to disseminate audio programs. Like initially CDs came, cassettes came, CDs came, then DVDs came, then Blu-rays came, pen drive, and many other storage devices through which audio programs can also be disseminated. As well as the internet platform is more popular, more common to disseminate audio program formats, audio program. So this unit deals with the historical journey of the dissemination of audio program. Okay. From normal broadcasting to the internet based webcasting, or podcasting, those type of things. So this was the first block, and that block is dedicated to audio production, in which we will discuss about various aspects of audio program production. If we want to produce audio content, okay, the subject may be entertainment, maybe music, maybe education, maybe anything, any genre, but the production process is same. The formats, there are different formats also. Recording procedures are same, audio editing and mixing processes are same, and the platforms are the common for all these type of different subject based genres. So block 1 deals with the different aspects of audio program production, and you all are requested to go through the first block properly, carefully, each unit, go through each unit properly, and you will get a complete idea, a good idea about the various aspects of audio program production. Then the block 2 of electronic media, this block is dedicated to digital photography. Okay. So digital photography includes, there are 4 different units. First is camera, types, structure, and functions. Here, this unit talks about the different types of still cameras. Here, since we are talking about the digital photography, here we will limit ourselves to the still cameras only. So different types of still cameras, some historical insights also. Then the structure of still cameras, then functions. We all know that the nowadays DSLRs are quite common, and now the mirrorless cameras are also quite common. So you will find the structure and functioning of DSLR also, as well as the mirrorless camera also. What is the difference between the consumer camera and the professional still cameras? Nowadays, we all know that a very good high-end cameras are available with the high-end smartphones also. So all these things have been included in this unit. Then the unit 7 is picture composition. Camera is a tool, we all know. But if you want to be a good photographer, then the person who is behind the camera, the mind which is behind the camera, that is more important. With the same, camera and the tools available with many people, it's not possible everyone will become a good photographer. Because photography needs a lot of creativity also, thinking process also. So the aesthetic part of the photography, if we will divide photography, we can divide into 2 major aspects. First is craft related aspects or technical aspects where you need to know how to operate a camera, how to use the different types of lenses, how to select proper lenses for proper photography assignments, then the photo editing also, then how to manually use the different controls available inside the camera, the aperture, then the shutter speed, then setting the ISOs, then the a lot of things, technical things are there. That is the technical part of the photography, and that is called craft part. The second part, that is the content, what you are capturing with that tool, that is also important. And how you capture, what you capture and how you capture, both are very important. And this content part needs a thinking brain. So if you have a tool, you can click photographs. But if you want to be a good photographer, if you want to be a noticed photographer, distinguished photographer, you must have a thinking brain and the aesthetic sense also. So all those things has been discussed in this unit, unit 7, that is called picture composition. Uh, just give me a minute. So picture composition, then the next one is techniques of photography. So picture composition part will deal with the aesthetic part, the content related part of the photography. And the unit 8 techniques of photography, it deals with the technical parts. So what type of controls are available? Like we all know about the exposure triangle, we have shutter speed, we have aperture, we have ISO, and we can change these settings. Okay, you can change shutter speed, you can change aperture, you can change ISO also. So how we can change these settings, for what purpose, what type of effects we can achieve by changing these controls, all these things have been discussed in unit 8, that is techniques of photography. Then the next unit, unit 9, is based on photo editing. That is the post production. You can do some color corrections, you can do some cropping can be done, and many other things can be done in the photo editing. So block 2 is dedicated to the digital photography. Okay. Then the third block, that is audiovisual production 1. So the third and fourth block, both blocks are focused to audiovisual production, and the titles are block 3 audiovisual production 1 and block 4 audiovisual production 2. So in block 3, unit 10 talks about writing for audiovisual programs. So we all know that audiovisual programs have different formats. Okay, film is also audiovisual program. Television serials are also audiovisual programs. Documentaries are also audiovisual programs. News bulletins are also audiovisual programs. Debate discussions are also audiovisual programs. Different type of TV features are also audiovisual programs. Interviews, reality shows. So there are n number of audiovisual programs available, but our focus is based on the news and the documentaries. So in the first year we had one course, broadcast and online journalism, and in that course we have discussed about the different types of television or audiovisual news program production. So production of audiovisual news bulletin, and those audio, why we are using audiovisual, why we are not using television, because audiovisual is a type of content which can be used on various platforms. Television is one platform, the internet based platforms are also there, CD DVDs are also there, cinema theater is also there. So all these are the platforms. But whatever the type of content, that is audiovisual. Audiovisual means where we are using visuals and audio combinedly to communicate our message. So those type of content messages are called audiovisual messages, audiovisual programs. And these are the platforms. Television is one platform to show the audiovisual programs. CD, DVDs, pen drives, offline, storage devices, with the help of, mobile phones or the laptops of the PCs, we can also see audiovisual programs. And we have internet-based platforms also where you can also see audiovisual programs. So audiovisual programs can be disseminated through different type of platforms, but the content is same. The content is audiovisual because that is using both the component audio as well as visual is dominant, supported by the audio. So that's why we are talking about the audio visual production. So in this unit 10, writing for audiovisual programs, our main focus is on documentary programs and some other programs also, maybe the cookery shows, maybe the wildlife documentaries, maybe the public relation videos also. So those formats have also been included in unit 10. Then unit 11, that is about the production process. Like in unit 1, we have discussed about the production process of audio programs. Unit 11, we will discuss about the production process of audiovisual programs and what are the different stages. What are the activities in pre-production, what are the activities in production, what are the activities in post-production. So all these things have been discussed in production process. Then the unit 12 is lighting. We all know that when we are talking about visuals, light is very important because without light we can't see anything. So lighting is a very important aspect. Without lighting, it's a difficult to shoot anything. So if you want to shoot with the help of camera, light is a very important element. And unit 12 discusses about the lighting for audiovisual program production. So what different types of lights are used, what are the different characteristics of lights which should be taken care while producing audiovisual programs. Then what type of lighting setups we can use, what types of lighting patterns we can use. So all these things have been discussed in unit 12, that is titled as lighting. Then we have unit 13, recording moving images. So basically when we talks about the audiovisual programs, we are recording moving images only. Okay, we all know that images can't move. We are recording still images only. But when you are playing those still images with a certain speed, the illusion of movement can be created. And that is the basics behind all the moving images. Okay, so unit 13 will discuss about the different type of shots, different types of camera movements, the theory and concept behind the moving images. So these type of aspects have been discussed in 13. And the last block, that is the last block is audiovisual production 2. This block has 3 units. Unit 14 talks about the production design, and 15 editing, and 16 production management. Production design is very important, very important. So when you are writing a script that is in the written form, that is in the text form, so present your script on the screen or present your script visually. That is the work of production design. If you are writing a script and you are writing a story of located in a rural area of your country and placed in 1850. Okay, so the story is about some rural area, but not at of the present age, that is from 1850. So creating this visually on the screen, what type of costumes should be there, what type of homes, what type of dressing, what type of equipments, what type of transportation facilities, what type of sets are required, what type of locations customized for that time period. So everything, all these things have been taken care by the production design team. So very important in audiovisual production, and that is unit 14. Unit 15 is on editing. uh, After production or after shooting, post production is very important, and that is the editing part. And what type of editing softwares are available for audiovisual production, what type of editing principles are there, what type of editing techniques are there, different type of transitions, their meaning, different types of combinations. So all these things have been discussed in the unit 15, and that is editing. And unit 16 last is production management. Audiovisual production, if especially if we talk about the films and the television serials, it's a huge work, it's a big work, it's a involve many people, and a lot of management related activities are involved from the inception. Once the script is finalized till the final dissemination of the broadcasting of the program, or screening of the program, a lot of production related management related works are involved, managing crew, managing equipments, arranging transportation, managing shooting locations, taking the required permissions, you know uh, coordinating with the different talents and the crew members, booking hotels for shootings, booking uh, different type of, a lot of many things are involved. And all those things have been taken care by the production management team. So that is also very important in audiovisual production. So this was the structure of our uh, course, electronic media, which includes audio production, digital photography, and the different aspects of audiovisual production. So first is audio production. We will start from audio production. Now, if you have any question, you can raise your hand, or you can type your question in the chat box also. uh, i can I will try to answer your questions. So any of you are involved in audiovisual production at any capacity, or do you have any experience of audiovisual production in any capacity? So I think you don't have any uh, work experience in audiovisual production, because nobody has answered. Okay. uh, yes, I do, but unfortunately I can't speak here. Okay, no issues. As I told you earlier, that you can reply through the chat box also. or you can raise your hand also. Okay, fine. So it's a, it's a great to have one learner which has already the experience of audiovisual production. And as we discussed that it has, multiple type of programs available in case of audiovisual production, from filmmaking to, audiovisual news bulletins. So it's a huge, a vast variety is available, vast range is available, and completely different also. If we are involved in filmmaking, that is a completely different work. And if you are involved in, television journalism or video journalism for any online based platform, that is completely a different type of work. But the content is audiovisual in both the cases, because in both the cases, that is the masses created with the help of visuals and audio element. So now we will start our discussion from the first block, that is the audio production. So radio program formats, you can read it audio program formats also, because nowadays a lot of audio programs are disseminated through internet based platforms also. Podcasting is getting popularity in India. All the radio channels are available on online platforms also, internet platforms also. And even in India also, podcasting industry is you know uh, emerging, and it's a growing continuously. So and the podcasting is available, audio content is available in all different types of genres. So for entertainment also, for storytelling, different type of stories, different types of, you can say, documentaries also based on the real things, factual things. Then the education also, education related materials, audio lectures are available. Then the music is available. Then the, drama, serials, docudrama, all these formats are available in audio segment nowadays. And podcasting is getting popularity among all different types of age groups. Youngsters also are interested. Then the senior citizens, old age people are also interested. The religious content, the spiritual content is also available in audio formats. So a lot of scope is available for audio program production in different genres. So before going to the different type of audio program formats, first, what is the program format? The format is basically the framework of the program. Different formats use elements of radio content in different combination and sequencing. So we have certain elements for audio programs, and those elements can be used in different sequencing and in different amount. Okay, and that creates the format. So news bulletin is a format, radio drama is a format. Okay, radio serials are format, storytelling and drama, these are two different formats. Okay, in the same way, news feature is a different format, audio documentaries are also a different format. All these formats are using the same audio elements, that can be the spoken word, that can be background music, that can be effects. So the elements are same, but they are using those elements differently, with different type of sequencing and in different type of amounts, and that creates a distinguished audio program format. So factors influencing selection of format. So when you are thinking, first is the idea. Like if you have an idea, you want to produce an audio program based on organic agriculture. या ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग. ठीक है, दिस इज एन आइडिया. Now you need to select your format also, because an audio program on organic farming can be produced in talk format also, radio talk, yeah, audio talk format, in audio documentary also, in audio drama also. Okay, so in audio lecture also. So a lot of formats are available for the same content. Okay, so after having an idea and extending that idea to an extent, now you have to decide the format, in which format you want to produce your program. And there are different factors influencing selection of the format. The first is nature of the subject. What is the nature of the subject? Okay, so nature of the subject means, if you want to tell a story, if the nature of your subject is that is for the entertainment, if you want to tell a story, then you can't go for the news bulletin, you can't go for the documentary, you can go for the drama, you can go for the storytelling. If your story is long, you can go for the audio serials also, audio series also. So that is possible, those formats are possible, but your nature of your subject also influence the selection of your form. Then the target audience, like I just told you, if you want to produce a program, audio program on organic farming, and your target audience is the school kids. You want to create awareness about the organic farming among the school kids. Okay, uh, then you should not go for the documentary format, because that will not suitable for your target audience. You should go for the drama format. You should create a drama, you should create the characters, and you should create the story which should be entertaining also, as well as which can convey your message or information about the organic farming. So you can create a school teacher, or you can create an uncle, you can create the few kids residing the same neighborhood, and they are going to the picnic with that uncle, and there is a discussion. You can inbuilt different type of activities, and the discussion and the dialogues based on the organic farming, and your story, interesting story, entertaining story, can convey a different type of required messages and information about the organic farming. So if your target audience are the adults, you can go for the documentary on the same topic, on the same theme, that is the organic farming. But if your target audience is the school kids, you should not select documentary as a format, you should go for the audio drama. So here we can easily see that target audience also decides the format of the program. Okay, so the target audience influence the format also. Then the nature of recordings involved. And nature of recordings involved means, many times we are planning many things, but we don't have those facilities. We have certain limitations. Like you have to record everything in the studio, then you should not go for the documentary format. Because in documentary format, we need audio recordings from the field, from the from the people in their own settings. It should not be studio based thing. And if you want to produce a program like the same, we can take the organic farming, and if you don't have facility to go to the fields, to the farmers who are involved in organic farming, then you need to manage everything inside the studio. Then you should go for the audio feature, not for audio documentary. So audio feature can be managed in the studio. You can have two presenters, you can involve one expert from the you can say the agriculture side, and you can create audio feature. But if you want to go for the documentary, audio documentary, we need recordings from the actual settings. We need the recordings of the farmers from their farms who are involved in the organic farming. So nature of recording involved is also very important in deciding the format. Then the last but not the least is the availability of resources. So as we discussed, nature of recording is also depends upon the availability of resources. Like if you have proper resources, proper budget for your audio program, then you can go for the different places, you can visit different places, then record the opinions and the interviews of different people, record the actual audio environment, sound effects from the field and everywhere. But if you don't have those type of resources, you will have to restrict yourself with the suitable format. So the availability of resources also decides the format of the program. So factors influencing selection of the format of audio program, we can see nature of the subject, target audience, nature of recordings involved, and the availability of resources. These four important factors which influence the selection of format for your audio program. So do you have any question or any query, or do you want to add something? Yes, I think Emmanuel want to ask something. Yes, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, do you want to ask something? Okay, fine. So Abdi Razak has 10 years experience in multimedia sector, and for the last 7 years he is managing his own firm which produces humanitarian documentaries and case studies. It's a great and we have the experienced people in our learners group. So it will enrich our discussion, hopefully. So now we will move forward. Like when we were discussing about the definition of format, we talked about key in different formats we use the different elements available for audio programs, audio content, in different sequencing, in different amount, in different style. But what are those elements? So basic elements of audio content, radio or audio content, wherever it's a mentioned radio, you can read it audio also. So the word that is called, spoken word, then the music, then the effect, and then the silence. With the help of these four elements, we are creating the whole world of audio programs, the whole world of audio content. Like words in audio program formats, if you will see, the words are the spoken word, whatever we are speaking, or whatever we speaks in a musical form, also in a rhythm also, that is also the spoken word. Okay, so spoken words are very important. Like if you are taking the example of radio talk, that is completely based on the spoken word. In this format we are only using the spoken words. Okay, then if you are taking the songs, different songs, so spoken word is there, those are the lyrics spoken by the singer. Then we are using the music also, the second, it's a mixture of two elements, words also and music also. Okay, then if we take the example of radio dramas, where we are creating many scenes, because in audiovisual programs we can create scene with the help of different type of visual elements. So we have the facility of visuals in audiovisual program to create the scene. But when we are doing the same thing for the audio, the visual support is not there. We have to create each and everything with the help of only and only through the audio elements. So like if in your radio drama you want to create a scene that your characters are standing on a bus stop and talking to each other, you have to create a imaginary scene in the minds of your listeners, that these two characters are standing on a bus stop and they are talking to each other. So it's not an easy task. You will have to take the help of effects. You have to create the effects of traffic. There should be the noise of traffic also. You may use that some bus is coming and people are talking ki, is something like talking about the bus stop. The bus stop word should be there. Only then your listeners can recognize that these characters are standing on a bus stop. Then the different types of effects also, traffic noise and the noise available on a ordinary bus stop. So all these type of effects will help to create the scene in the minds of your listener. That is very important in the case of audio program. So effects are also very important component. Like if you want to create a scene that your characters are sailing through a river, then the effects are required. Then maybe whatever sound effects can create the image of river or the surrounding of a river, that should be used to create this scene in the minds of your listeners. So effects are very important. Then the silence, very important. Pause, very important. Many times, like if we compare the written words, the written language, in written language we are using alphabets. Okay, with the help of different alphabets we are creating words, and with the combination of different words and following the grammatical rules to create or to form a sentence, we are creating sentences, then the paragraphs, and then with the help of paragraphs we are creating the whole content or story. So within two words there is always a gap. Within sentences there is a gap. And just imagine, remove these gaps, will it will possible to understand the written language? If there is no gap, no blank space between two words, if there is a no blank space between the sentences, if there is no blank space between the paragraphs, will it possible to read and comprehend the written text? I don't think so. In the same way, silence is important in audio format. There should be a silence between two words. There should be proper silence between pause between the different sentences. And many times these pauses and silences gives the meaning also. Okay. So the use of silence is similar, the use of blank space in written text or in a design also. Like in visual communication we are creating different type of designs, but we are giving the negative space also, the blank space also. And that blank space works a very important role, plays very important role to communicate the masses. In the same way, in audio program production format we have the element of silence. Okay, so now here we will take a small break, and after 7 minutes, 5 7 minutes, we will assemble again and we will continue our session. It will go up to the I think 7 o'clock. Is it fine? Is it okay with everybody to take a 10 minutes break? Yes. So we need 10 minutes break, and after 10 minutes, we will assemble again. Thank you. Welcome back. Uh, should we start now?
Meeting is over, Amit.
No, no, sir. We have taken 5 minutes break. Now
Okay,
we restart. It will go up to 7 o'clock, no, sir. 5 to 7.
5 to 7. Yeah,
5 to 7. Okay. So now, so we discussed, four different elements of audio content or audio program. That is spoken word, then the music, then the effect, and then the silence. Now, audio programs, can be classified into different, types, and it has been classified. It have been classified in your unit also. First is spoken word program, second is news programs, and third is music program. News programs are also a type of spoken word programs, but since it's a subject wide, it's a completely, a separate stream. uh, it has been classified as a separate, category also. So spoken word programs mainly based on the spoken words. Okay, the main, the component are the spoken words in spoken word program. And there are different types of spoken word programs. Here you can see that the sorry. uh, you can see that the talk, then the discussion, then the interviews, then the quiz, then the feature, audio magazines, audio commentaries, audio documentary, audio drama, audio talk show, poetry recitation, advertisements. All these are, different type of spoken word program. So, do you have any experience of producing audio programs? Anyone? You can speak up, or you can type your answer in the chat box also. So, anyone of you have any experience in audio program production, experience in radio, or experience in podcasting? Okay, so Abdi Razak have, because he had experience of 10 years in multimedia program production. So I think, except Abdi Razak, nobody has the experience of audio program production. So all these formats, as a listener also, you must have, witnessed, all these formats. Like talk is basically a straightforward, delivery on any topic. That is called radio talk, especially in the context of in Indian radios. This is talk. Discussion, we have, two people or more than two people to discuss on a particular theme. That is called discussion. Then interviews is, between two people. One is the interviewer, then is interviewee. and there is a conversation between them, that is interview. Quiz, we all know about the quiz format. Then the feature is based on the factual things. Two presenters or three presenters can be included. Script plays very important role in feature. We can add some interviews or some effects or some music in feature. Then there are concept of audio magazines or radio magazines also. These magazines may be subject specific, like sports magazine. Then the music magazine or cultural magazines are there. Then the commentaries are very famous, especially in the case of popular events like sports related events, different types of maybe cricket matches, football matches, hockey matches, or other types of sports also. Or some important days like the Republic Day or Independence Day, or any type of national celebration, where in that case also commentaries are very important, because the radio listeners can't see, radio can't show you, but with the help of commentaries they can create the picture of that particular event, that particular sports, that particular activity in the minds of their listeners. So commentaries are also very popular spoken word programs. Then the documentary, of course, very research based, on the real things, the factuals. Then you are using the interviews of different stakeholders. Then you are collecting the ambience and sounds from the actual sites. So all these elements can be put together and you can create an audio documentary. Then drama is a fictional thing. You can write a story, you can create characters, and you can we as we discussed that especially in the case of drama, you need to create the scenes in the mind of your listeners, because you don't have facility to show in case of audio program. So you can use the audio effects also to create these type of scenes in the minds of your listeners. Then the talk show, there is a difference between talk and talk show, especially in the Indian context. Talk is like if you have given a topic, organic farming, and one expert came with a script, and he or she delivers the talk on that particular theme. And the talk show is basically you have one guest and you are talking. It is little informal also. Then the poetry recitation programs are there. Then the advertisements also a type of spoken word program. So these are not the fixed. There are many more also, but these are the some prominent examples of the spoken word program formats in radio. Then talk, I told you earlier also, talk is a straight delivery of words by a particular speaker, one person. It's a script based. And it's a basically if you have delivering talk on organic farming, so you will cover the what is organic farming, what are the practices involved in organic farming, why organic farming is important. You will include all these things in the script and you will deliver the talk. These are the short duration programs, 5 to 10 minutes. Talk can be presented on any relevant issue or topic. Written scripts is used in talk. Then the discussion generally includes 2 3 participants, and a moderator is important in discussion. Discussion presents analysis of an issue with from different angles and brings forth more than one opinion on a given topic. So just imagine that if you have a topic of discussion and one moderator and two different experts or people from different fields or from different sides, and they are trying to put their own opinion, and the listeners can understand the different points of view on a particular issue. So this is the purpose of a discussion. The subject may be political, social, cultural, or issue based, but it must evoke the interest of a listener and sustain it. The duration of the discussion varies from 15 to 30 minutes depending upon the topic, utility, and the number of participants. And the role of moderator is very important. The role of moderator is crucial for the success of a discussion. The moderator conducts the discussion, introduces the subject as well as the participants. Moderator facilitates the presentation of diverse viewpoints and provides equal opportunity to each participant to express views. and the discussion is concluded by summing up the main issues raised in the program. So role of moderator is important. Moderator's role is to keep the discussion on track. Many times we have started a discussion on a particular topic, we have invited 2 3 people from different fields or from different, with the different point of views, and discussion is started, but after some time it may change the track also. So it's a role of moderator to keep the discussion on track, focused on that particular topic. Then the second is it's a moderator's responsibility to give proper time to all the participants. Otherwise one person or one participant can dominate on the discussion. That is not a good sign for a healthy discussion. So it's a moderator's role. Then moderator's role is to start the discussion, to introduce the participants, then they conclude the discussion also, and finally what important points emerged from that discussion for the listeners, that should be communicated by the moderator, and it is very important for the listeners also. Then the interviews are always a very interesting format, and in audio also, an interview requires the participation of 2 people, the interviewee and the interviewer. So one who is taking interview and one who is giving interview. Okay, so interviewee is the who is giving the interview, and interviewer who is taking the interview. The interviewee is the subject expert, who may be a political leader, scholar, adventurer, dancer, actor, comedian, etc. So a person from any field, a prominent person from any field, a person who achieved some extraordinary in any field, and the listeners are interested to know about his work or his journey of life, and how he got success, and what type of challenges he faced. So that type of people are invited as an interviewee. Okay, in the interviews, interviewer raises questions and queries about the subject, personality, or issues to elicit more details for the audience. The interviewer should always keep the objective of the interview in mind. He or she brings the expert to focus on those points which are related to the objective. So the interviewer asks appropriate supplementary questions, hence the ability to listen attentively and to think quickly are essential attributes of an interviewer. So if you want to be a good interviewer, you should be a good listener also. If you will listen to your interviewee properly, guest properly, you can ask supplementary questions which are quite relevant and which can help to increase the interest of your listeners, or to bring out something interesting and important for your listeners. So both are important. So you should be intelligent, you should have a good listener ability, and comprehend whatever says by your guest, and create supplementary questions, relevant questions. The interviewer needs to do homework thoroughly and study the background of the interviewee to bring forth new, interesting, and vital information. That is very important. You, as an interviewer, you should have proper knowledge about the topic as well as your guest. Okay, and if you should research your topic and guest thoroughly. You will get very pertinent questions, good questions, interesting questions, and some interesting facts about your guests also. The technical aspects, microphone placement, background noise, etc., should be kept in mind while producing an interview. If you are conducting your interview in a studio, that is not an issue, because the studio is a professional place for conducting these type of recordings. But if the interview is outdoor interview, you are going to a person's place and conducting interview for your audio interview, then you should be careful about the placement of mic. There are many possible sources of noise, the AC's noise, or the traffic noise, or the noise from the office. So you should keep these things in mind, these technical aspects also. only then you can produce a good interview. So an interview with a lot of noise, or an interview with a lot of disturbances or hissing noise of your AC or a fan, it's always create distraction for the listeners, and it can't be included, considered as a good interview. So technical aspects are important, and especially when you are conducting interviews outdoor. If you are in a studio, all these things are placed in a proper manner, and that is not a big issue. Then the talk shows. Talk shows have become very popular on television. This format is also used on radio or for podcasting. Okay, so a lot of podcasts you can, popular podcasts are basically basically in the talk show format. In this format, two or three speakers are invited to speak on a given topic, and the audience present in the studio question them. Okay. This may be termed as an extension of interview format, in which one person talks with one expert. In talk shows, the experts may be more than one, and the person to ask the question may also be more than one. Okay. So, this is the talk show format. Then the experts are called to speak on social issues. Then the cartoonist may speak on creativity. Literary writers may speak on their style of writing. Doctors speak on health related issues. And the people from different fields can discuss about their lives and different issues of their areas. People from different walks of life or from the related fields, as per the objectives of the program, are invited to participate and ask questions. Experienced and articulate anchor person conduct the talk show and navigate the program with style, wit, and a sense of humor to make it interesting and lively. It's a very important. It's a anchor's responsibility to make your talk show, interesting and useful for your listeners. So these were the important program formats, spoken word program formats uh, for audio programs. And now we will move forward to the next topic. Mm, yes. So now we will discuss about planning a radio program. All these topics are related to the block one, audio program production. And if you have any question on the formats of radio programs or audio program, you can ask, or you can put it in the chat box.
Sorry, sir, you muted your mic.
Sorry. I was mute. Okay, sorry. So now we are discussing about the planning of the audio programs. And in the planning, the first and very important stage is target planning. So a clear idea about your target audience is required for planning a radio program. We should have information about their age, their educational and economic status, their likes, dislikes, their level of comprehension, etc. So like we have taken one example to create an audio program on organic farming. And if our target audience are the farmers, okay, so we have decided that our target audience is farmers, and those farmers are in rural areas. We should have understanding about the educational qualifications of the farmers, so that we can pitch our program in on the same level. We should have understanding about the leisure time of our target audience, leisure time of our farmers. So accordingly you can select the time slot. If you are going for the radio broadcasting, if you are going for the internet based things, that is fine. But if you are going for the broadcasting, then the selection of time slot is very important. You must understand the level of comprehension of of your target audience, and in this case farmers. So accordingly you should keep the information load. Accordingly you will keep the level of the language. Accordingly you will keep the content of your, in your in your program. And accordingly you will choose the format of the program also. So target planning is very important. You should have clarity about your target audience, and you should have proper information about your target audience. So both the things will help you to plan a successful content for your channel. That may be your radio channel, or that may be your internet based platform. Then the stages of program production process, we all know, you all must be familiar with these stages. And these are the common stages in the program production, in audio also as well as in audio visual also. So pre-production, then the production, then the post-production. Okay. And planning is required at every stage. Pre-production is basically complete a planning type of a stage, but a little level of planning is required at every stage. A common stages in pre-production planning. So what are the common stages in the pre-production planning? So, identifying the aim and defining the scope of your program. What is the aim of your program? Why do you want to create this program or produce this program? Okay, so the aim may be you want to create awareness among the, small farmers regarding the organic farming. You want to give the required information to the farmers about the advantages of the organic farming. Okay, so these type of objectives can be clarified, and it should be clear in your mind. Then the selection of format. You have your topic, your subject, you have your target audience clear in your mind. Then select a suitable format for that particular topic as well as for your target audience. Okay. Then the content planning. So all these, like selection of format, if we are if we are, if the educational qualifications or educational levels of our farmers or farmers in the country are comparatively low, then we should go for the, some interesting type of format like the drama. You can go for a radio or audio drama on organic farming, where the characters can be taken created among the, rural background, and their discussions on, you can weave, some activities and dialogues and discussion among the characters, through which you can pass on the information about the organic farming to the target audience. Okay. Or you can invite one expert also. It can be in interview format also. You can make it phone in program also. You can take the answer questions of the farmers also. You can invite few farmers in the studio also, and there may be a talk show type of thing where the experts of organic farming are there, and the farmers are also available in the studio. They are asking the questions, and there is a discussion, there is a conversation among them. So you can plan, you can select format based on the subject, based on your target audience, based on your resources, available budget, and everything. Then the content planning. Okay, then the selection of script writer and other talents. In many formats you need to, like if you are going for the drama, audio drama or on organic farming, so script will play a very important role. So you need to select a script writer. But in this case it will be not a normal radio drama. This radio drama is based on a factual thing, that is organic farming. So script writer should closely work with the expert of organic farming, because expert of organic farming knows what is organic farming, what are the different practices, what are the advantages, disadvantages, and a script writer knows how to create that message in a drama format. So an ordinary script writer can't write a proper script on organic farming, because it requires the knowledge of that particular subject. It requires the knowledge of that particular subject. But on the same way, the expert of the organic farming can't write the script for a radio drama on organic farming, because he or she doesn't know this craft. Script writing is a craft. So there should be mixture of the expert, and the script writer should work with a coordination to write the proper scripts of a drama based on organic farming. Okay. Then the selection of time slots. In the case of radio broadcasting, you need to time slot also, and completing contractual formalities also. These are also very important. You are involving one expert or two experts, you are involving anchors, you are involving script writers, you are involving voice characters. Okay, so all voice artists. So all these, a lot of people are involved in different formats, different type of people are required. So the contractual formalities should be completed at the planning stage of pre-production. Okay, identifying the aim and defining the scope that we discussed, that in planning an effective radio program, the most important step is to identify the broad aim of the program, whether the intended program imparts education, whether it is informative, aimed to generate awareness or enrichment type, or entertaining in nature, whether it is being designed to meet the felt needs of any specific category of listeners. Working out objectives of a radio program in clear-cut terms is an important part of the planning process. Then the selection of format. The selection of format depends on the suitability to express a given idea to a given audience. We have discussed it. These formats can be used individually or in combination to make radio programs interesting and observing. So there are certain formats, fixed formats, and there are certain hybrid formats also. It's not a fixed, it's a creative field. You can do experiments also. You can mix two formats also, or three formats also, or you can go for a hybrid formats also. So the main purpose is to communicate properly, to communicate effectively, to hold the attention of your listeners. Okay, and for that you can experiment with the formats also. Okay, you can use two formats, three formats, you can mix them, you can create hybrid formats, but the final purpose is to do an effective communication, to pass on your message properly and holding the interest of the your listeners. Then the content planning. Content planning begins when the researcher makes available all the material connected with the subject. Overload of information should be avoided in a program. Like if you are going for a talk, if you are going for a documentary, if you are going for a script writing on radio drama, on a real thing, on a real topic, it's not an imaginary story. So basically it's a type of docudrama, you can say. You are presenting the actual message but in the drama format. Okay, so in all these cases research are very important. You need to do research, you need to take the help of experts to understand the content, to understand the messages, and then involve them to prepare a good script. Then overload of information should be avoided in a program should be, you should understand your target audience, you should understand their educational level, you should understand their level of comprehension, and accordingly you should plan your content. Otherwise overload of information will distract your audience, distract your listeners, and you will lose the attention of your listeners. Okay, and that will be not good for the health of the program. We must ensure that the program does full justice to the subject chosen. So whatever subject has been chosen, your program must do proper justice to that subject. If the subject is vast, we may plan a series of programs to do full justice to the topic. So if you have selected a topic and that is too vast, and it is important to include many information or many content, so don't try to squeeze or push or fix all the content in one episode. It will create an overload of information overload, or your listeners will lose the interest, they will not get anything. So if required, you can go with the multiple episodes, you can go with the series of programs, okay, to cover all the aspects and to do proper justice to your program. That is important. Then the selection of a script writer and other talent, it's also important. The selection of a script writer is crucial, important. The producer writes the script himself or engages a script writer. If the producer is comfortable to write the script, he or she can write the script, no issues. But if the producer feels that different script writers should be involved, the different script writer should be hired, and the proper contractual procedures should be followed. The producer has to brief the script writer on the scope of the program and satisfy him that the script meets the requirement of the program. If the producer gets a good script, half the battle of making a good program is won. So in a script based program, scripts are very important. Once you have prepared a good script, your half work has been done, because now you need to execute that script. Okay, so proper scripting is very important. The talents are selected according to the requirements of the program, depends upon the program. If you are going for a radio drama, you need different voices for the different characters. Also, if you are going for the radio feature, you need some presenters also, and if you are going for the documentaries, you need presenter, as with presenter, one presenter or more than one presenter. Then the experts of different fields also, you need to take their interviews, and you will have to integrate the pieces of those interview into your documentary. Selection of time slot. The selection of time, this is applicable in the case of radio broadcasting. It's not in the case of internet. So the selection of time slot depends upon the preferred listening timings, which may vary according to the local conditions. The knowledge of target audience is useful in selecting the time slots. Okay, so preferred listening timings are important. Then if you have proper knowledge about the target audience, even your target audience gets time. So in that time, if you are getting time slot, then your program will be more popular, because that time target audience are free, they can listen to your program. So these informations are very important. Farmers, industrial workers, housewives, teenagers, etc. have certain preferred listening timings which vary according to the local circumstances. Then, completing contractual formalities, the producer has to secure the necessary clearances from the copyright holders. If you are using some copyrighted material in your program, so required clearances from the permissions from the copyright holders should be in place. The producer has to enter into legal agreement with many people, talents, or if you are using, like if you are converting a story into a radio drama, and that story, somebody has a copyright on that story, you need to take their permission. If you are paying them, then there should be a legal contract between your organization and that particular person. So these type of activities are the part of planning of a radio program at the pre-production level. There are several OB-based programs like the Kavi Sammelans, poetry recitation programs, then the sports events. Getting clearances from the organizers for broadcast of such events in full or in part is essential, because there are different types of policies. Many programs are not open for broadcast. You can't use them. You can't broadcast or webcast live. So if you want to do it, you need to get the permission, and some payment related activities should also be there. So this was basically the planning part of especially in the pre-production stage, and little planning is involved on every stage when you are going for the production also. So a little planning is involved for pro-production also. Little planning is required, but the major planning part is in the first stage of production, that is called pre-production. Okay, so if you have any question on this topic, you can ask, or you can put into the text box. Or okay, fine. So now we will cover one more component. We will try to cover it, and that is writing for audio programs or radio programs. Okay. So when we are planning to write a radio program, uh, we must understand writing part is involved in different amount in different format. Like if you are going for a radio drama, it's a completely based on writing. First you need to write the script, then you can execute that script. So in that case, writing plays very important role in the case of radio drama. Okay, but when you are going for radio interview, the writing part has very limited role, very limited role. You can prepare some list of questions, that is fine, but apart from that, everything is spontaneous. Okay, your interview is giving responses that is not written. You may have the list of certain questions, that is fine, but you need to add new questions, because when your interview is giving certain responses, the relevant questions may emerge from their responses, his or her responses. So those questions will be spontaneous. So in the case of interview, the writing part is very less. Okay. In the case of news bulletin, you need to prepare the script for the news bulletin. In case of radio feature, you need to prepare the complete script of the radio feature. That is very important. When you are going for the talk show, writing role of writing is very limited. Okay. But when you are going for talks, then the role of writing is very important, because that is, you are delivering the written script only on a particular topic. So amount of writing, importance of writing, and role of writing vary format to format. So what type of format you select, the role of writing will depend on that. So when we are writing for a radio program, we must understand certain things like characteristics of an effective radio program. Okay, what are the things which can make an audio program effective and interesting? Interest of whom? Interest of the listeners. That is important. Then the relevance. Your program should be relevant to your target audience. Then the comprehension. Your program should be understandable easily. If it's a difficulty, if your target audience will feel difficulties to understand it, to comprehend it, it will not come under the category of an effective audio program. Then the fourth is conflict. Conflict creates interest. So there must be some conflict, like when we are talking about writing the screenplay, scripts for radio drama or television drama or films, or web series. We always talk about the conflict. There should be conflict in the story, and that conflict will make the story interesting, and you can get the attention of your listeners or viewers. Okay. So when we are writing a radio script, like you are writing a story script for a storytelling format of radio audio podcast. Okay. So in that case, the presenter is telling the story. What is the difference between storytelling and audio drama? In audio drama, you have different voice characters, voice artists. They are playing the role of different characters, and they are delivering their dialogues, and you are creating the different scenes with the help of sound effects and everything. So that is audio drama. What is audio storytelling? In audio storytelling, one storyteller is telling the whole story. He or she, who is the storyteller, delivering everything from the different characters of this story. So there are no multiple voice characters there, and one person who is the storyteller delivering the whole story. So if you are writing for an audio story, if you are writing for an audio drama, or if you are writing for an audio drama series, then you must understand these things. Okay. And if you are writing for audio documentaries also, features also, these characters are very important. So programs should be interesting both in terms of content and presentation. Content should be also interesting, and the way of presentation should be also interesting. So this is the interest. Then the relevance. The program needs to be connected in some way or other with the lives of the listeners so that they feel involved. It may be related to their livelihood, their environment, or simply their activity and emotions. So there must be some relevance of your content. Only then you will get proper warm response from the listeners. And that relevance may be, the content is linked with their activities, their work requirements, or their jobs, or their challenges in their life, or their emotion. The relevance, emotional relevance is also there. So if you have a story which is, talking about the feelings of a teenager, the dilemmas, the struggle of a teenager, then the teenagers as a target audience can find relevance to that story, and they will feel connected to your story. So that is the emotional relevance. Okay, so emotional relevance is also there. Then the job related relevance, then the physical requirement related relevance, then the knowledge related relevance. So any type of relevance should be there. Only then your listeners will feel connected with you. That is important. Then the comprehension part is very important. In addition to being relevant and interesting, the program needs to be comprehensible to audience. The listeners should be able to understand the content to derive any benefit from it. That is important. And for that, you must understand the comprehension level of your target audience, the educational qualification of your target audience. There should not be any information overload in your content. That is important. Then the conflict. The element of conflict stimulates interest, whether it is between people, nations, ideas, or with nature. It may bring out a controversy, a contrast, or a clash of some sort. It may be in the form of a struggle or a problem or even a challenging question. So conflict, very important, because conflict makes the story interesting. Okay, or if you are able to create conflict, bring conflict in your story, it will be, enjoyable, or you will be able to attract your listeners. So this was the presentation for today's counseling session, and we tried to cover a portion of block 1 of MJMC MJM 0 to 7, that is electronic media. If you have any question, please raise your hand. You can ask your question, or you can write in your chat box. I will wait for a few minutes. After then we will close this session. Summary of this session, I think it's the responsibility from the learner side. You can summarize whatever presented today. We discussed, as we initially we saw the structure of the MJM 27. There were 4 blocks. Audio production was the first block, then the digital photography, then the audiovisual production, 2 blocks. So basically, we tried to cover the few aspects of the audio production. What is the basic elements of an audio program or audio content? What different types of formats are used in audio program production? Then what is the process of program production, the planning of program production, how to make our audio programs interesting, what are the characters that influence a success and effectiveness of an audio program. So we all discussed all these things. So we tried to cover the some important parts of the first block, that is focused on the audio program production. Okay, fine. So now we are closing this session, and we have one session 5 to 7 tomorrow also, and we will try to cover the other blocks in tomorrow's session. Thank you. Thank you for